Hello everyone and welcome to Alucard GH YouTube channel.
Λατρεύω τους γενναίους αντιπάλους, γιατί η γενναιότητά τους ενισχύει τη νίκη μου.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to break down Beros, the brand new tactician swordsman. Is he actually worth investing in or should you skip him? We will take a look at his skills, strengths, weaknesses, best lineups and how he compares to some of the strongest swordsmen in the game. And finally, I will answer the big question. Who is better, Ramesses or Miyamoto? Let's get started. First thing, Beros will be available during Season 7 Advent Wheel. He's a strategy hero and he uses active skills. Beros Commander skill All Round Hunt will deal strategy damage to the enemy troop, 550% strategy bonus, so this is a big damage, skills with a strategy, and increases your next signature activation chance by 35% and damage by 20%, that also scales with the strategy bonus. So overall 35% activation chance and 20% strategy bonus. This is a big, huge boost for this hero until the signature skill is activated successfully. So that's mean you will have the 35% chance with the damage boost until the signature skill is activated. There's no time limit, there's no for 6 seconds, 9 seconds, whatever. So overall until now this skill is tier S. Gains 100 initial rage upon entering the battle. So the thing is, you'll need to gain 150 rage for the first commander skill. That's like 10 seconds to 11 seconds after entering the battle, which is also still good. We will have after 10 seconds the 550% damage, 35% activation chance with a 20% boost with that skills, also with a strategy bonus. Beros signature skill Thunder Ring Tremble. Activation chance 25%, which is really low. Comparing to new heroes, they have 30 to 35% activation chance. This skill like really low. This skill will deals 330% strategy damage, scaling with the strategy bonus. So not bad, 330% is not bad. This is a good damage actually comparing to other heroes. Each time the skill is activated, there is a 35% chance to activate it one additional time. So this part is good, but still the 35% chance is pretty low. Up to 4 activations per turn, sharing the limit with other additional activation effects, which means it may activate twice and then maybe we will have Charlemagne that will allow him to trigger it one more time. That's like 3 activations per turn. So I don't recommend Charlemagne, but we will come to that point later on. So overall 35% is pretty low percentage. That means you have 65% chance that it will fail. Every 2 activations increase your strategy by 30 for 6 seconds. Not bad, not that good, because 30 for 6 seconds after 2 activations, that's not like a good boost for Beros. But let's say this is a mid-core one. So overall Thunder Ring Tremble will be like around A to A+, just because of the low activation chance that skill has. Alright, his customizable expedition phalanx. This is the special one. Activation chance 100%, passive type increases your signature active skill chance by 2%. Okay, this is not a big increase, but not bad. Each time you activate a signature active skill, increases signature active skill damage by 2%. Skills with a strategy, stacking up to 6 times. That means you have to stay alive as long as you can to have the maximum stack of this skill damage increase. Not bad. During rallies, your signature active skill damage increases by an additional 10%. 10% is good, but it does not scale with the strategy. And in rallies, we will not have the commander skill, so we will not have that big 550% damage. We will not have 35% chance for the next signature active skill, and the 20% that scales with the strategy. So we will not have that damage boost from the commander skill at all. But still not bad that they give something for rallies. His last customizable skill, Strategy Master's Gift. This skill, the big boost for him, because it will increase the strategy damage by 30% and the activation chance of signature active skills by 15%. So his Master Gifts is better than his Expedition Phalanx. Imagine that, because the damage boost by 30% and the activation chance by 15% is much better than that boost they give. Maybe the only thing that additional gives during rally is that 10%, but in overall, this skill will increase the chance by 15%. So after we add 17% from both customizable skills, we will have activation chance 42%. Still not yet enough, because Thunder Ring Tremble is the only skill that deals damage for in this lineup, along with his commander skill for sure, but it's once in a while, and in rallies we only have Thunder Ring Tremble. That's why we need to boost the activation chance even more. We will use, and I recommend to use, Juggalian. Juggalian customizable skill will increase the activation chance for the commander's signature active skill by 10% after 3 seconds from entering the battle for 9 seconds. And then after 9 seconds, which will be after 12 seconds from the whole battle, we will have 5% increasing of the activation chance. Along for sure with the damage boost, signature active skill damage boost from the sustain from his signature active skill, from too many things. But for now, let me tell you this. We will have from 3 seconds to 12 seconds a 52% activation chance, and after 12 seconds we will have a 47 activation chance only. So still the activation chance is pretty low, and that's why we will need to use Skywars Knight for this lineup. At level 50, this ring will increase the signature active skill chance by 10%. So after 12 seconds we will have a 57 activation chance, and before that we will have a 62%. So overall this ring is very good, but it's costly. I'm saying at level 50 will give us this boost of 10%, so for sure before that it will be much less. Why I don't recommend to play with Charles? Because he only have a 29% chance of triggering the effect that allows Beros, the commander, to trigger his signature active skill once. So 29%, it's very low chance. If you are saying Beros is having a very low chance, also Charles is having a lower chance, because he doesn't have any other skill that boosts his signature skill, because his signature skill type is passive. The only percentage he have the chances inside the skill itself. So 29% is very RNG. Okay, it will increase the damage of that skill 47% with scaling with the strategy, and it will increase every blah blah, but it's still bad, because also he doesn't have any sustain, he doesn't have damage reductions, his healing and his recovery is pretty low. That's why I recommend to play with Juggalian with Confucius. Confucius, he's one of the main support hero. You cannot play Beros without Confucius. But Charles is he's the baddest and he's the worst option to play with Beros. And I can show you from these reports that the activation chance is changing, like 15 seconds, 12 activations, sometimes 21 second, 9 activations, and even 20 seconds with the commander skill activated, he will only trigger 8 times. So this will change in every report, in every battle. And now we will start comparing between 3 heroes, 3 commanders: Ramesses, Beros, and Mia. The thing is, Beros and Ramesses, they share the same thing: tactician, swordsman, strategy damage. But the difference is, Ramesses, you can use him as an archer or swordsman, while Beros only swordsman. Ramesses, you can not use him in rallies at all. People keep spamming him in rallies. Big mistake. While Beros, he works in rallies, and I will get to this point. But let's say Ramesses, he uses his commander skill more often because his signature skill give rage, recovers rage. So when he spam his signature active skill, he recovers rage, and when he activate his commander skill, it will allow him to trigger his signature skill 9 times in a row. And yes, this is the thing. This is why Ramesses, he just like a machine. Like he will keep spamming his signature skill 9 times and recovers more rage, so his commander skill will triggers once again, and again he will spam another 9 skills. So that's why he's good. That's why he's faster than Beros. Also, we can add that Ramesses' commander skill will give him immunity to silence, which is the most important thing for this march, because anyone who's using Everflame or any type of silence will slow you down, will stop you from activating your active skills or commander skill for 3 seconds anytime you are silenced, like using Everflame. Beros, he does not have this effect. So Beros will keep getting silenced. There is no chance to have immunity. So that's why in battles, in field fight, Ramesses does better in overall. But Ramesses will never be used, cannot be used in rallies, because he needs his commander skill to spam his signature skill. His signature skill damage is way less, deals way less damage than Beros. But the activations is really crazy. Beros deals commander damage skill. Also, he deals signature, more damage from his signature active skill than Ramesses. But the problem is with the activation chance. And if we will start comparing Beros to Mia. Now, this is very like tricky thing. Beros works in rallies, in open field. Mia works in rallies and open field. But the difference is Beros better in open field because strategy damage, his damage is more than Mia against Cyrus, against might heroes, even better against Ramesses than Mia. Even though he might like have a 60%, 70% chance he loses to Ramesses, but he still can stand against him because of his strategy points that give him more strategy defense. Also with the Juggalian and Conspicuous, the sustain, the damage reductions, the healings, Mia does not have that. But at the same time, Mia does better in rallies in terms of damage because Mia, he have two skills that deals damage. Also, you can use Lagertha that also deals damage. And Scipio allows him to critical strike with his signature skill. So he will deal more damage. Also, he have a more activation chance than Beros. The pace, the boost even from Scipio will give him around like 25% of activation chance. Also Lagertha that allow him immediately to trigger his signature active skill. And also his signature skill have a chance to allow Lagertha, the second in might, to throw additional skill. So, but the problem is he doesn't have enough damage reduction. That's what I explained earlier in other videos about this marsh. This lineup does not have enough damage reduction, but it does have a big boost of damage. But if we are playing in rallies, Beros will have a higher damage reduction, more recovery, but only him dealing damage, only dealing damage with one skill. That's why it takes long time, a really long time for Beros to start dealing damage in the rallies. But in open field, it's okay, he can get swamped, he can sustain that, he can last longer than me, especially if he's getting hit by Cyrus, by Lubu, by other lineups. But still, what I'm saying, if we playing Beros against Mia, Ramesses against Mia, they both have a best performance. They have a better advantage because of the sustain, because of the damage reduction that they have. They can last longer than Mia. If Mia gets hit by strategy damage, it will be bad for him because the recovery he have is very low. The damage reduction is pretty low. So that's why these three heroes, they have different type of performance. Ramesses, the best, the king of the battlefield. And then we can say Beros is the second. In terms of swordsman, for sure. And Mia is the third, because Mia dealing might damage to Cyrus, even if he's a counter, but we all know how Cyrus is super tanky right now. And he deals like his counter damage is really crazy. So that's why Mia always having a hard time facing Cyrus, while Ramesses and Beros, they just chase Cyrus all the time. Like they have fun beating Cyrus. That's why I love strategy lineups in the open field. Now, can we use Scipio with Beros and Confucius? Yes, you still can do that. You will lose like many strategy points. You will lose the sustain, more sustain from Juggalian, his damage reductions, also some points transfer, but you will have a chance to critical strike with Beros. Also, you will have a 15% activation chance for your signature active skill. So yes, that's more than what Juggalian will give you. We said Juggalian will give you from 3 seconds to 12, 10%, and after 12, he will only give you 5. But Scipio will give you a 15% activation chance from 0. So all time. Plus he will increase your skill damage, your signature skill damage. He will give you more boost of damage, but you will only have damage reduction from his African conquest, 30% every time he triggers it. Also, he will have a low recovery from his signature skill, but you can always use Bloodthirst to boost the recovery. I know we already know that Confucius, he's a great recovery, he have a great recovery, but we still need recoveries. Maybe you can just ignore the second recovery in Scipio and use King's Blade, but it's really RNG with Beros. The reason is, we said it will be activated like by a chance for 3 seconds. At that time, maybe Beros will not activate his signature skill. So he will not use the King's Blade. He will not be benefit. So the best option to have a Bloodthirst recovery. So at the end, do I recommend Beros? I don't recommend Beros for low spenders because, as we said earlier, we need a high level of Skywards to boost our activation chance, plus all the commander's damage and all of that. But the most important thing, because he have a very low activation chance, we need this ring. So Ramesses is better for sure. Until now, Ramesses is still better in the open field, even for free to play. But like I said, for free to play, if you are working only on Ramesses, that means you will not have any chance to join your alliance rallies. You will not enjoy rallies at all. So maybe you can switch to Beros at that time. So you can have two options, even if you are free to play. But I'm telling you this because I know some people, they don't want to listen. So I'm gonna tell you this. Yes, if you are playing with Ramesses, if you are going full on strategy gems, yes, you can just max Beros, and when you wanna play in rallies, you will play with Beros. But in rallies, Beros will have a lower damage but longer survival. He will survive longer than Mia. Mia will enter the rally, he will start dealing damage, triggering his skills, but he may get eliminated way too fast, especially if he's facing many Lubus and also King Arthur. So in overall, you can play Beros if you want a better battlefield than Mia. For sure, go for Beros. Ramesses is also a good option, but he's an MGE hero from Season 3. It's not easy to get MGE heroes, we all know that. Beros is in Season 7, also that's a 4-season difference. But if you want to do what I do and how I play, I focus on swordsman. I love swordsman, so I started with Ramesses. I started also with Mia. I had 2 lineups of swordsman. Why? For open field, I just go crazy with Ramesses, and then when I go to rallies, I switch all my gears to Mia, so I can balance my spending, because they also use the same rings. They use Skyward Knight, they use Lofi Mountains. Even if you want to use like Tranquil Water, you can use that. So that's why swordsman, these 3 heroes, also uses the same exact thing. The only difference, strategy and my gems. So I recommend Beros, but not for low spenders. You need to focus on Skywards if you want to play this lineup. You need to understand this point. It's very expensive. You need to have a Confucius, which is also an MGE hero. You cannot say I will play Juggalian and just keep Confucius. No, it will not work. You need Beros to survive as long as possible. You will lose against anyone who's playing with Confucius. You will lose against Ramesses with Confucius, even Beros with Confucius. You will lose against these people. So my advice for you, if you don't have Confucius, if you are not planning to get it, if you cannot get it, forget about playing with Beros. You can just stick to Ramesses with Scipio and Juggalian. Because Beros, after many hundred of tests, I did, I think, more than 200, 300 tests in Pioneer, even in Global, when they released the hero. He never did well, perform well with Juggalian only, without Confucius. So my advice, just to know what you can do and how you can do it. Ramesses still S tier hero. For me, Beros, he's like maybe an A+. Mia, he's still S tier hero for me, because he's a really season 1 hero. And he's still in the field, he's still in the rallies after 7 seasons. So that's why this hero like costed $1 to unlock, and he's just going in beast mode for 7 seasons. I love Beros, yes, but I think in the future we will have some hero, like maybe something that will boost his activation chance even more. It will allow him to trigger his signature skill even more. Maybe some hero that allow him to recover more rage. Because if he have a good option effect in his signature skill that every time he uses it, he recovers rage the same as Ramesses, then it will be good. Because he can deal damage with his commander skill, he will also increase the activation chance by 35% and the damage and the big boost for the open field. But right now, this is his only problem, the activation chance. We can have a maximum of 57% to 62%. Even if you are like you want to use samurai mercenaries will give you only 1% activation chance. Even if you are going for the other ring, warrior ring, that ring is having a very low activation chance. Even at max level will give you maybe around 2%, which is very expensive and is not worth it. Alright guys, this is it for today. I hope you like the guides. I hope you like the breakdown for Beros and the conversation with his other heroes. I recommend Beros, Jogilian, Confucius, or you can also go with Beros, Scipio, and Confucius. Skywars is a must-have, higher level. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and wait for the next video. See you.